Matchday 6 is in the books, and some of the biggest teams in Europe remain in the danger zone. PSG and Manchester City are fiddling with missing out on the knockout stage altogether, and their chances may well hinge on their head-to-head clash next matchday. Meanwhile, Liverpool remained perfect as Barcelona joined them in punching their tickets to an automatic bid in the knockout stages. Automatic round of 16 bid. Matchday 6 is in the books, and some of the biggest teams in Europe remain in the danger zone. PSG and Manchester City are fiddling with missing out on the knockout stages altogether, and their chances may well hinge on their head-to-head clash next matchday. Meanwhile, Liverpool remained perfect as Barcelona joined them in punching their tickets to an automatic round of 16 bid. Giants rise and fall today on Coffee with a Kick. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with a Kick. We're here for our Champions League recap of Match Day 6. The last, as I've said plenty of times before, but I will say it again because I've already started saying it, the last match day of 2024 for the Champions League. And you know what? Your boy didn't make out too bad. I'll tell you that much right off the bat. You didn't fare too badly either. We both beat the favorites, and that's always the goal. Well, the goal is to make money, but definitely beating the favorites is a good thing. Anything you want to say before we roll right into these matches?
Oh, some of these teams will be very happy that they get a nice break in January because...
I'm thinking of one in particular.
Yeah, one in particular. We won't name exactly who that team is
yet.
But a lot of travel. Normally this would be the end of the group stage.
Yeah.
So now it's actually just a break. So kind of an awkward time here to still be fighting for some spots in a knockout round.
Almost as awkward as having another November World Cup. Are we doing that in Saudi Arabia? That was just,
potentially in 2034, there's a chance.
Yeah, great. Because Qatar did so well and nobody died building all of their buildings. You're right. Definitely a good idea. November worked so well for everyone. We'll leave that for a decade in the future. I'm sure we'll still be doing this at that point. But we'll go ahead and roll right into our Tuesday action, which start off with our Dynamo Zagreb and Celtic, plus Girona and Liverpool. And you know what? Liverpool made it. Just barely. Kept their perfect streak alive with a 1-0 victory over Girona. And then, now, it wasn't the 2-2 draw that I thought, but it was a 0-0 draw between Dynamo Zagreb and Celtic, which got me off to a very good double hit start here at the beginning.
Yeah, I thought Celtic was going to get more out of this one. They didn't, but they tried their best. But I don't know if Zagreb is the team you want to be drawing with, but all in all, kind of a snoozer of a match. So not a highlight reel I'd go back and watch.
Yeah, it was rather dull, and in Liverpool, the Girona has been playing decent defense, but I didn't think they'd be bottled up that much. Seeing as I thought they would get at least 2 past them. But they got the job done in the end. And then for the other early matches, what do we need to say here? Brest won. We both thought that would happen. They did win 1-0. We both missed the Bayern Leverkusen. Did come out on top against Inter. Inter conceded their only goal so far this tournament, and they weren't able to match it. Bayern Munich managed to do the typical German thing and destroy. What was that? It said they were going to bombard them. They did indeed. 5-1 victory for Bayern Munich over Shakhtar in, where was it? It was northwest Germany. I can't remember the exact town again.
They're over near where FC Schalke plays.
Yeah, near Schalke.
Northeast German.
Northwest Germany. Yes. I remember from looking at it was northwest Germany that they were in. Aston Villa and Real Madrid both come out with 3-2 victories over RB Leipzig and Atalanta, respectively. I thought Atalanta was going to come back and give me that draw, but didn't quite get the job done. We both picked Aston Villa to prevail as the dog in this one, according to our stats, over RB Leipzig, and they did pull it off away from home, so good on them. And let's see, what else do we have? We got Club Brugge did beat Sporting. We both thought that would occur, which capped off a pretty good Tuesday for us, all in all. Well, pretty good Tuesday for me. You went, what is this? You went 4-5 on day one. Yeah, 4-5 on day one. I went 7-2.
Which, I mean, we've seen in the past that when one of us does really well on day one, day two is not always the most amazing. So I wasn't too mad about 4-5. That's probably my, most even-keeled day one.
And they were good hits. You got the you hit the Brest beating PSV, which was over 3 units. You got the Club Brugge, which was another underdog pick, and Aston Villa. You hit all your dog picks. Well, not all your dog picks, but you hit your major dog picks there. In the first one, which helps units-wise, kind of keep you nice and steady. And then, you know what? The momentum kept up a little bit waning in the second day, but some late-breaking adventures managed to keep me afloat. The problem was that all the picks I had on the second day were favorites. So no adventurous picks managed to pull through for me. And you got the exact same thing. Oh, hold on. No. One of my adventurous picks did come through. I forgot to put the P there for perfect because I did have a perfect pick. Yeah, and then you did pretty well as well. Going over to our Wednesday matches, it started off with Atleti and Slovan Bratislava and Lille and Sturm Graz, with the home sides holding turf there. 3-2 for Lille over Sturm Graz and 3-1 over Slovan Bratislava for Atletico Madrid. Anything remarkable for you in those two matches?
Sturm Graz played decent. It really was just right at the end, right at the beginning of the halves. But outside of that, Lille dominated this one quite a bit. But Sturm Graz tried. They tried to if they stole a point here, that would have been huge. So tough for them to not be able to hold on.
Yeah, they seem to struggle putting together full matches because we've seen them play well in other ones as well. I think it was Matchday. Was it Matchday 2 against Sporting? Maybe. I think that was it. That they did pretty well the whole match and then just collapsed at the end of it. I think that was the match that I'm thinking of for Sturm Graz. But yeah, not able to get it done. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to, so I'm not exactly mad about it. That's for sure. And then into the match day itself, we did get fireworks in Dortmund and Barcelona. However, Barcelona came out on top. Did either of us pick that? No, neither of us did. I did. My 3-3 almost hit though, and it almost happened exactly as I said. Not quite though. Kept it at 3-2. We'll leave that one for a little bit later. My Benfica Bologna 0-0 did hit. Dead on. That was my perfect pick of the week. On a good draw as well. I mean, it got me a good points boost there. You also picked a draw, but yours was 3-3. My rather dull result held there. Barcelona, a relatively dull 3-0 victory there. I mean, they managed to take care of Monaco with relative aplomb. Another German destruction here with Stuttgart beating Young Boys 5-1. Young Boys. I know you thought that they were going to.
They started out so well. The early goal. Wow.
You're like, yeah, here's the chance. This happened, I think, in match day 2 as well for them. Like, they started off nicely when they were at home, and then just it was just terrible the rest of the time. And, Young Boys remain a pointless side in this tournament. Feyenoord takes out Sparta Prague 4-2. AC Milan squeaks by Cvernicvedje 2-1. And then that brings us to Juve and Man City. Now, what would you like to say about Juve and Man City here?
Well, the one highlight for me
There
was
a
that
highlight?
Tim Weah connected with Weston McKennie
Oh, okay.
for the All-USA goal, although it was not for Man City. It was just another match where City controlled possession, played how they wanted to play, but then it was those brief lapses of judgment, those brief giveaways, the not being able to take control of the match caught up to us. We thought we were over this, but I'm not sure what to say.
Yeah, are there any fixes here, or is it just like play better? I don't know if there's anything that structurally needs to change for City. It's just that the people who you need to perform are not doing so.
Yeah, no, I think it's as a whole, like the whole team is on a slump. Haaland's not scoring. De Bruyne gave us some inspiration there versus Nottingham Forest, but outside of that, no one's really playing super well. The defense is playing poor, as we've seen. We've swapped goalies in and out, Ederson for Ortega, then back to Ederson. So I don't know. I think it's...
You know what you need. You need to bring back Zach Steffen. That's what you're missing. That's what you're missing.
That's who we're missing.
Recall Zach Steffen from... Did you loan him to NYCFC?
Well, I think we officially sold him to Middlesbrough, maybe it was.
Oh, okay. Kept him in England. Kept him near at hand.
I don't know. It seems as though first few losses, obviously missing Rodri, missing that center, and now it's like those 3 straight losses in a row just put us in a funk, and we're trying to find our traction. And if we don't find it soon, we have PSG next in the Champions League. So if we don't get it by January, City may be out of the Champions League.
That is a good segue to the table, which we are going to break down here because we've only got 2 match days left in groups in league stage. And we have a big break between now and I think it was January 21st is our next match day. So over a month and 10 days between now and the next one. So... Listen, I'm not going to say I feel it too. Okay, I came back and I did well in this one, but I think we got over a mid-season slump, both of us, and we're going to start doing better now. But I'm not going to say that I'm going to miss having so many matches to cover ourselves here. We have a bit of a slog the next couple weeks up until let's see. No, that's not true. We just have a big match. We have a big recap episode, preview episode that we're going to do before the Christmas week starts. After next weekend, we'll have our. I think we're going to cover 3 match days in that one episode. I think is what we'll do.
It'll be a lot.
Yeah, it'll be a good bit.
Yeah.
But to the table for the Champions League. Liverpool, Barcelona have already secured knockout straight advancement into round of 16 because Liverpool has not lost and Barcelona has won all but their first. So Liverpool likely, their spots aren't secured yet, but I think Liverpool is locked into either first or second at this point. More than likely. Technically, if they lose both of their next 2 matches, they could drop down to third. But I think they've got one of their D pools still left to play. They may have a C pool left.
It looks like they have Lille and PSV left, so probably 2 guaranteed victories there.
At least a draw in one of those. And all they need is one draw at this point to secure first or second seeding in the round of 16. Barcelona, they have a little bit more work to do to get secured. And then we hit a patch, just like a whole gaggle there, because 3 through 8 are all at 13 points just on different goal differentials. Starting with Arsenal, then Leverkusen, Aston Villa, Inter, Brest, and Lille. All on 13 right now. So you could really shake it up here in the next as far as City is concerned. And going down into the knockout phase, we've got, another 1, 2, 3, 4 at 12 points with the 2 German giants, Dortmund and Bayern, and then Atleti and AC Milan. So those teams they're all still on the bubble. Only Barcelona and Liverpool are secured to be straight to rounds of 16 at this point. And then you go down to the 11 points. There's only 2 of those, Atalanta and Juve. Then to the groups at 10, there are 5 of those. This is for 15th through 19th, which is Benfica, Monaco, Sporting, Feyenoord, Brugge, and Real Madrid. Oh, no, Real Madrid is at 9 points. And Brugge. Once you hit 17, that's where you're then an unseeded knockout phase playoff place, which means that you're away, right? Are they doing home and aways for knockouts? Hold on, let me refresh my memory here. I think it's just a 1 match knockout. Is that right? New format. Let me hop over to the new format. So much changed. Can I find it quickly?
I think maybe for that first, the non-bye teams, I think maybe it's the higher seed hosts.
I think that's what it is.
And then it goes to home and away when quarterfinals hits, or when the round of 16 hits.
Here we are. Knockout phase details. Quickly, show it to me now. How does the draw work? Is it one? Is just one match? Wait. What? Okay, so you played 2 times in that knockout stage. Hold on. This is...
So it's like double elimination? Or you play the same team twice?
No. There are 8 bowls are prepared for with the ball. Oh, okay. I think, okay. That's what it means. Why does it look like this? Okay, it's for the seeding. I see. Okay. No, it's just a 1... There are 2 legs in the playoff. There we go. There are 2 legs. It's just that you see the top half of the middle section is seeded, and then the bottom half it goes into the draw pool, and they go against the seeded teams.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's a home and away, and then it's a home and away all the way up through the championship. Which
so they're gonna have like.
Yeah,
it's going to be pretty much like they do whenever they get to the semifinals, where it's like you play home game this Tuesday, away game next Wednesday. It's going to be like every week, 1 week off, 2 weeks on. Because, I mean, they're not going to have a lot of time unless they're going into June, which usually only the finals is in June. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, let's see. They'll have the actual knockout phase draw on January 31st. 2 weeks later, you'll have the actual first match day, and then just a week later, you'll have the second match day. Then the draw for the round of 16 happens on the 21st of February. Then 2 weeks later, you've got the 2 legs of round of 16, and then that's in the first and second week of March. And then the first and second week of April, you have quarterfinals. The last and first of April and May are when they do the semifinal legs, and then the final is on May 31st in Munich. So I think they used to have more space between those legs is what I think used to happen, right? So they just kind of truncated all of those. It's a lot of matches, man. That's a lot of extra matches, especially since we haven't quite finished with the table yet. We made it down to, what was it, 19th, and then you've got the people who are in dire need of movement upward because they're close to the elimination. Real Madrid and Celtic are on 9 points, and then you've got City, PSV, and Dynamo Zagreb all on 8 points, still qualifying in 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And then this is the other team that you mentioned, PSG. So PSG City, there on that third week in January is a huge match. I mean, even more than it being PSG and Man City, it is essentially a match to see who's going to be knocked out of the Champions League. It is not improbable that would be a deciding match for either of those if either of them pulls off the full victory.
Yeah, it really depends on what PSV do against Liverpool, what Dinamo Zagreb does in their next 2, and what Stuttgart do in their next 2. Because if PSG win, I think they're in. No matter what, I think I'm going to say if they win, they're in. Same with City. You win, you're in. But if you lose, you have some stuff to do because I'm looking at who Stuttgart plays, and Stuttgart has Slovan Bratislava.
That's a
But
win.
here is the kicker: Stuttgart host PSG in
Ooh.
Matchday 8, so that could be
Wow.
a
Wow.
potential literal win or go home moment.
So PSG has just dire match days for their last two. Very high stress situation there. And those are in back. Yeah, so that's. And then
But
we get down to.
Zagreb has Arsenal and Milan as their next two, so that might
Whoa,
they might be
that's-
saved by Zagreb just having a gauntlet of
I
a
think
time.
one of those teams is getting saved by Zagreb. It might be PSG, but it could be Stuttgart. And Shakhtar technically isn't. And the next teams are like Shakhtar, Sparta Prague. They're at 4 points, so highly unlikely. And then Sturm Graz, Girona, Svernesvedje, Salzburg, and Bologna all at 1 win apiece. Oh, sorry, Bologna actually has 2 draws. And then the pointless guys, RB Leipzig and Slovan Bratislava and Young Boys, they're already eliminated for sure.
So that really showed how important that Celtic draw was.
Yeah.
Zagreb really needed to win that. If they win that, then they kind of control.
They control their own destiny.
Telling
for sure.
PSG that you're controlling your destiny and we're in. But boy, City and PSG may just luck out because PSV has Liverpool. They do have Svernesvedje, so they may get a win there. But Zagreb, it's looking like you're the odd team out because you're playing two of the best teams in Europe.
Yeah. PSV, I think you could pencil in at 11 points. Zagreb probably stays at 8. So they would need PSG. If PSG drops both, then Stuttgart probably leapfrogs Dynamo Zagreb. Because that would mean that they beat PSG and would be on 10 points and probably sneak into 24th. Interesting. The middle of the table is much more interesting. The automatic buys are a little bit more interesting than the bottom, but it's just the names that we have at the bottom with Man City and PSG being in such vulnerable positions. You could see some major upsets there. You could see something crazy happen. But that brings us to the end of match day 6 for the Champions League. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I'm glad that we're to a point where games still matter. When we first saw this format, I was kind of worried that we'd get to 7 and 8 of the match days and be like, all right, none of these matter. As far as big teams needing wins, tight positions in the buys versus the actual, are you going to get in or out of the knockout stage? So I'm glad that's happening. It gives something to watch and actually be excited for. Yeah,
for sure. I think on balance, it is a more exciting tournament. There are some teams who are definitely just cannon fodder. We talked about them plenty of times. Slovan Bratislava, Young Boys, RB Leipzig. Young Boys are sitting at a negative 19 goal difference in 6 matches. Okay, losing by more than 3 goals every match that you've played. That's depressing as a statistic.
And they've been winning in some of those games too.
Yeah, they start off this one with a lead and then drop 5 unanswered goals. That's devastating as a club. But if you just win your domestic league in Switzerland, then you're in for next year, and no one can say none the better. That's my best Swiss accent that I can do, apparently. If that's even Swiss. It was basically just a German who I'm calling a Swiss, which I don't think is quite the same accent.
They're close to each other. I think they border a little bit.
Oh yeah, no. Germany borders Switzerland. I know that. I know that. But I know that there's a lot more X's in Swiss names than there are in German names. Just think about those Jacques. Granit Xhaka. But that is all I have to say about the Champions League. Make sure that you like and subscribe and leave a comment. Flame21, good to see you down there. We will what am I saying? And until we see you again in our recap episode next week for the Champions League, make sure that you do watch our prediction episode which came out earlier today, more than likely. Depends on how quickly I can get this edited. But until we see you again, why don't you go ahead and grab some coffee, watch some soccer, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye, Scatorte.